I would like to start this evening at 7:03 p.m. with an invocation. Jonathan would like to introduce our.
Pastor Jay Suiso.
Josh Luso.
Joshua, I'm sorry.
Yes, that's right. My dad's name is Jay, actually. Yes, thank you all for giving me the opportunity to pray for this meeting. So please join me in a word of prayer. Almighty God, I give thanks to you for your blessings upon the town of Kiowa over so many years. And it's by your kindness and mercy that every single person here in Elbert County is able to live and to prosper. You are a good and merciful God, and you've been good in so many ways to the residents of Kiowa and Elbert County. And Father in heaven, I pray that your name would be hallowed and honored here in Kiowa and in Elbert County in general, that the people of Elbert County would acknowledge you to be the one true God and to know your Son, Jesus Christ, who is the Savior of the world. I pray that the people of Kiowa and Elbert County would fear you and honor you as Lord, since your word says that the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom and knowledge. And we acknowledge, as we do in the pledge, that our government is under God, since you are Lord of all, the Lord of heaven and earth. And I pray that we would act in such a way that honors your authority over this town government and over all governments. And I pray tonight for the Board of Trustees as they meet tonight and deliberate, that they would have wisdom and understanding to faithfully steward and manage the resources of Kiowa and to make good decisions that will lead to the flourishing and prosperity of everyone here. And that in all their decision making, they would remember your commandments as well, which are summarized by the Lord Jesus as loving God with the heart, soul, mind, and strength, and to love our neighbor as ourselves. I ask these blessings in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. And Pastor Josh, what church are you at?
Reformation Church of Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Now, everybody let's stand, go to the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
You know, I really like if you start that way. I really do.
Okay, would you like to call the meeting? We'd like to call the meeting to order. It is 7:06 p.m. Sasha, could you please take a roll call?
Mayor Hart,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Schaefer,
Here.
Trustee Smith.
He's absent.
Trustee Wyman.
Here.
Trustee Stahl.
Here.
Trustee Stantz.
Here.
Okay, you have quorum.
We'd like to have approval of the agenda for this evening.
I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda that we put number 9, public hearing, move it up to 6, and then everything after that just gets moved down 1.
So that's a motion with the. Second that.
There's a motion to move. Sorry, public hearing so that we can get the first items done before we do our other business this evening. Yes. Sorry. We just went from tonight's meeting to last month's meeting. So,
Oh.
She was very confused.
yeah. So anyway, we call a vote to accept the agenda. The motion to move the agenda.
Okay.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Your motion's approved.
Dookie. Okay.
Yeah,
Here.
no, thank you. So we want to go through all 100 pages. Okay, public hearing this evening. We're gonna start with Cowboy Up Special Event Liquor Permit. Cowboy Up in Kiowa Rodeo, June 26th and 27th, 2026 at the Elbert County. Oh, and we're gonna do at the same time Elbert County Fair, July 24th through August 2nd, 2026. And at this time, I'll just let you know that I have to recuse myself for this vote. We'll still have quorum. Be okay?
Yes.
So my case got what?
Yeah. No, because I'm a volunteer.
That's okay.
My name is Lori Campbell. I'm chairman of liquor. And this is Angelique Deeker. She's president of Cowboy Up. And we are here tonight to ask you for permission to get our liquor license for our rodeo, which is Cowboy Up on June 26th and 27th. And for the Elbert County Fair, which runs from July 24th through August 1st.
Any discussion?
I think we're all pretty familiar with it.
Yeah, this is an annual event.
Yeah, very familiar how the fair works.
30 years.
Yeah.
Staff have any report on?
Staff's report is that they have come the last few years that I've been here. And they've been doing it for, a really long time. They have turned in all of their paperwork. They have taken care of everything that they needed to.
Things on status quo.
Everything is on status quo. They have turned in everything that they needed to. They've paid their fee. They posted public notice. So as far as staff recommends, we would recommend that you approve.
Sheriff will be there.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
The posse.
He does like our events.
And we've actually brought in extra security this year to make sure that everything is good and make sure to ID everyone, no matter your age. Wristband everybody.
That's okay. Those of us who are older, it makes us feel better.
But you have to. You have to remember to have your ID with you.
Exactly.
I know.
Yes.
I know, just
Because
saying.
if you don't, I'm gonna send you home.
Exactly. That's right.
Just like I said, it's just kind of makes you feel better when you're like, oh,
Technically, you are supposed to have your ID with you anytime you go into an establishment that serves liquor. If you intend to partake in that. So,
good to know.
yeah, so if you decide you're gonna drink, you need to have your ID. Okay,
Can we do one motion to approve everything at the end? Or do we need to do it individually?
You do it individually,
But this is fair and rodeo. Could we just-
Yes, theirs is together.
Yeah.
does anybody have any questions? We all know them and. Okay. Any public comments? Public questions? Okay, I don't see anything. Okay,
I make a motion to approve the Cowboy Up special event liquor license for the rodeo and Elbert County Fair.
I'll second that.
all right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say no.
Oop. Looks like Kim's got her hand raised.
Okay, Kim,
she's muted.
Kim, your hand's up. You're muted.
Yeah, I know. It has nothing to do with this. Can you shut that door? I can't see anything on the other side of the room, Sasha.
sorry, no, it's fine.
It's blocking the recording.
Sorry, my bad.
Thank you.
Okay, so we have a vote of approval for Cowboy Up liquor license for this summer, June 26th, 27th, and at the Elbert County Fair, July 24th through August 2nd.
Yes, ma'am.
We're good to go.
Well, good to go. So you guys can come pick these up in the morning?
Perfect.
Thank you
very much. We'll see you guys at our events.
Yeah.
there.
Lots of familiar faces.
Yeah, right.
Okay, now we're gonna move on to the Zelensky Monabat, is that right? Wedding?
Yes.
Okay.
Monabat.
Is that how you pronounce it?
Monabot.
Monabot. Okay.
I didn't know I'd have to speak, so I didn't.
That's okay.
I'm the mother of the bride.
Okay,
They live in Kansas, but my daughter grew up here.
okay.
week or up here.
Mhm.
So she wanted to get married at the fairgrounds, so we're asking for the liquor license for the one-time event,
Okay,
so.
so do you have, and I didn't see it.
Yes,
plan for
they have,
everything?
yep. They have turned in all of their requisite paperwork. They have the map for the location. They have tip certified bartender coming in. And they'll be serving just to their wedding guests. This is not a public event.
Right.
It's a private event, so it will not be open to the public.
Okay. So. 18 and under, or 21 and under. Well, sorry. Are we going to be having everything?
Oh, we will have, the bartender will have, she's tip certified. She is an actual bartender, so she will be IDing everybody in. I believe I put on the paperwork. We had bracelets, but I think we have a stamp now. It was easier to get a stamp, to stamp the people's hands to make sure that nobody underage drinks. So, and I and my mom will be designated drivers because we don't drink, so make sure everybody gets where they need to go safely.
Sorry, so I have a lot to go through.
That's okay.
Okay,
I don't know what I'm doing, so. thank you.
I would say me neither, so. Okay, so do we have any information?
Yes, so the staff would recommend that you approve this private event for the wedding
Okay,
for June 20th, 2026.
And I believe it's from 4 to 10.
Yes, and that's the hours I have on there.
alrighty, so, shall we take a vote? All those in favor say aye.
Need a motion
Sorry,
first.
motion. Anybody want to?
Motion to approve the special event liquor license for the Zaliki Monopot.
Okay.
I'm reading my notes. Okay, so all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those in opposed say nay. Looks like that passes.
Okay.
You so-
You can come pick it up tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay, so then our next one is the Pro Cop Foundation Special Event.
Nope.
Oh, no, I missed, sorry. See the Iowa Main Street Board Special Event with a permit to cover, it looks like all of our summer
Concerts.
concerts in the
Yes.
park.
Yes, and Administrator Boyd is going to speak to that since she is the administrator for the Main Street.
Okay.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
It's good seeing your faces. I feel like it's been forever.
All right.
And her camera is not working, so.
No, my camera's not working. I'm so sorry. I've tried for 30 minutes before the meeting started to fix it. And I even put a face on so I didn't look homeless for you. And here I am with a black screen. So I'm sorry.
If I go to, you will miss my face.
Kiowa Main Street is piggybacking on all of the Music in the Park events this year in Nordman Park by putting up a beverage tent. It'll serve as a fundraising event for them. They will not be serving hard liquor. It will only be canned beer and canned wine. Canned because glass is still prohibited in the town parks. We have purchased wristbands. Each event will have a different colored wristband so that nobody can try to reuse a wristband from another event or get a hold of a wristband from another event and try to use it at a subsequent event. All of the Main Street board members will be tip certified by the time the events start so that whoever is manning that tent will have tip certification and understand the responsibilities around what the position is. It will be Main Street board members that will be serving it. I will not be serving that because I will be at that event as a town administrator serving as a town official. I have contacted the sheriff's office to let them know that we will be serving alcohol in the parks now during those Music in the Park events so that they can step up general patrol of the park. during those events. We're not sure how many people that's going to bring in. We're anticipating that bringing in a lot more people at these Music in the Park events because we've had a request for this for a few years now. So we'll see what happens. But did you guys have any other questions or any other concerns surrounding this?
I think you covered it pretty good.
Okay. I couldn't think if I forgot anything that I normally would have asked or you would have asked.
Okay. So do we have any other information?
Staff's recommendation is that you approve this.
Okay.
All the paperwork is in, maps included. And we do have the wristbands in the office already, so I know they're here. So it's our recommendation that you approve it.
Make a motion to approve the Kiowa Main Street Board special event liquor license for the 6 dates that are posted.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those are aye. And those opposed say nay. Okay. Looks like that passes. Those. Need anything else? Can we get that tomorrow?
Yes, yeah, I'll have it tomorrow
Yeah.
to give to them.
A black cross on that.
Yeah, I'll give it to myself and then, you
And,
know,
yeah. Okay, so now we're at the Pro Cop Foundation special event liquor permit. And Danielle, you're doing both, right?
yes, she's speaking to the next two.
Oh, neato.
So this one is one that this will be our 3rd year or 4th year. It's the same thing. We just do a cornhole tournament under the horse pavilion. The 2 that will be serving are Drake Prokop and JR Prokop. They're both tip certified as they serve at the restaurant down there too. We'll have wristbands, we'll ID. We will have hard alcohol and beer. And as it gets closer, we'll probably have the sheriff there, coffee.
And recommendations?
They have turned in all their paperwork. They have it down pretty well too. Much like the cowboy up because they've done it before. So they have everything. They had theirs in pretty fast and early experienced. Yeah. So they kind of know what they need to have for it.
Yeah.
So,
Can you guys hear me?
yeah. Hi.
Okay,
How are you guys?
Good. Would you like to speak
Good.
also?
Yes, I got Drake here with me also.
Hi, Drake.
So it's not tip certified anymore.
Oh,
You have, if it's hard alcohol, you have to have a ABT
yeah, there's a new name.
certification. So you have to have a live training when there's hard alcohol involved. So Drake and I are both certified with that, but it is a live training you have to take now. It's not tip certified anymore. Tip certified's just for
for
beer and wine. But if
Yeah.
it's hard alcohol, you have to have that beverage training for the live aspect. So
Where'd you have that done?
we did it all online. My entire staff has done it.
But like the main street, because they're only serving beer and wine, they don't have to do that. They
Yeah.
only have to.
Correct. So anybody, so for you guys to know,
Yeah.
so it's not just tip certified anymore.
Right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good to know because I'm gonna be, hopefully Drake will be working with me this year again.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
No worries.
What was that additional certification called?
So it's the certified responsible alcohol beverage vendor training.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I made.
I can say I can get you the link or whatever.
Because I'm gonna.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Thank you.
For a motion to approve.
I make a motion for go ahead. I don't know.
That's okay. I'm still slow. You beat me to the punch. I'll make a motion to approve the Prokop Foundation Special Event Liquor License Permit. Basketball cornhole tournament on June 13th.
No second that.
There's a second. All those in favor say aye.
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 Those opposed say nay. Motion passes to approve the Prokop Foundation Cornhole Basketball Cornhole. Event.
Yeah, that.
Cornhole.
On June 13th, 2026. Sorry, guys. Okay, now we're gonna move on to E, which is the Cancer Benefit Dinner. Special event liquor permit, May 2nd, 2026.
So this one will be. It's just a special event. We're doing a benefit dinner. One of the previous first had a tumor. She had it removed on April 1st. She's actually still in the ICU. She picked up her respiratory. She was in there as well, so it's kind of rough. So we're just raising money. Every proceeds goes back to her. She's been out of work for over a month. And they don't know when she's gonna be able to go back in. She is a single mom.
Okay.
So it'll be the same 2 serving,
Okay.
same wristbands, ID, all that.
This has nothing to do with the liquor license. I'm just curious, how do you get a ticket to this?
Just at the door.
You just show up and.
Yep.
And,
Yeah. So, and I made an event on Facebook right now that says there's 36 people interested. So we're hoping to get, anywhere between 50 to 75.
yeah,
So tickets will be $25 for adults. That includes 1 drink ticket, and then $10 for kids. Beano's is catering it, and it'll be all you can eat.
nice.
Where is it?
And a silent auction. It'll be at the fairground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, again, I said since Danielle, she did all the paperwork,
Yep.
so she knows what she's doing. So she turned in everything that she needed to. She has all of her paperwork in, she's paid her fee, she's got the map,
That's-
all good. And she has the guys serving, so,
I'll make a motion to approve this one, Cancer Benefit Dinner Special Event Liquor License Permit on May 2nd. And I look forward to going.
Yes, please come. And we're gonna have a pretty cool silent auction.
Okay.
So
good to know.
lots of businesses have done. So
Hey, Danielle,
yes.
are you doing tables there, or can people reserve whole tables? So like, can the town reserve a table for the board?
Sure.
I didn't know if you split it up like that, or,
No, but we could totally do it that way. So
yeah,
that-
see if you could structure it that way and then send me whatever you have and we can do a table for the town.
Okay, perfect. I will do that. How many seats do you want?
I'll get a head count later this week.
Okay, and then just let me know.
Okay, I'll do that.
Perfect.
So we have a motion and it was seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And those opposed say nay. Okay. That motion passed. Let's get Danielle and JR the.
Yep, so tomorrow you can pop over and grab the licenses.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'll have you,
Thanks, guys.
yep, I'll have you sign them after the meeting, Mayor. Mayor, I'll just have you sign them after the meeting.
So now, any public comment or no public comment? Is there anybody else?
Anyone online who'd like to make public comment? I would say that is a no.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna move on to the consent items. And consent items, approval of minutes from last month, from our March 10th meeting. Anybody wanna approve those?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from last month's meeting, March 10th. 2006. 2026.
And you have the expenditures in there too.
Yes,
Yeah,
Okay,
so you really just do a
Okay.
motion.
okay, so. both
Motion
of
to
them.
approve the
both.
consent items.
I was
A motion to
seconding them.
approve both consent items.
Okay.
That's supposed to be.
Oh,
We didn't go.
Mhm.
That's why they're.
do I get a learning curve?
Yes, you do.
You definitely do. Right up
Okay.
front.
So the consent items, approval of the minutes for good expenditures for the year to date.
No, they're
2026.
together. So
So,
Bailey made a motion to
I
approve the
forgot that we're
consent
doing
items.
Consent items.
Yeah, so it's just a motion to approve the consent items. And then there'd be a second, and then a vote. And that way you're not having to go through each and every single item. It's supposed to help save time. These are the administrative items that y'all will get routinely, so.
We're not saving much time when we go over what we're supposed to.
We'll get
do
there
every
one day.
month.
We'll get there one day.
Okay, my board's the
Okay.
same way. The water board's the same way. We're still learning.
We're paving the way for a better future.
If
Yeah.
anyone has a question or an issue with either of these two items, then you would do a motion to remove it from the consent agenda. And then you would be able to talk about it, but technically, the way a consent agenda works is that everyone's already reviewed everything, so you can just do a one motion to approve everything that's underneath it.
So I stick with the motion to approve the consent items.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay.
okay, and now we're moving on to our,
Nope.
votes, sorry. Those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Okay, we're good to go. So then we have, general business. Resolution 2026-06 adopting the town of Kiowa's purchasing policy and granting limited contract signing authority to the town administrator. That is the one that we went over last month and so everybody saw the new.
Yep.
And the new way.
So I'll just go ahead and provide you a quick overview. Kim has reviewed this. Kim, did you have any comments you wanted to make first? I'm looking at the TV. I don't know. I'm looking at the TV or on that.
I'm up here, Josh. I'm up here.
Where are you?
She's up there on the wall. She's on the wall.
No, I have no comments. I actually agree with the whoever I haven't read the minutes, you guys. I'm so sorry. But I agree with the revisions.
Because I did provide her a copy of the revisions and I had the edits and explanation. So just so y'all are aware, when you're looking at this policy that's in front of you right now, it includes revisions on page 3 of 8, which is the chart with authorized purchasing. And in here, it originally had 4 basically line item areas. So it was less than 5,000, 5,001 to 25,000, 25,001 to 50,000, 50,001, and above. And your comments were that you wanted to basically limit the town administrator's approval and contract signing authority to 25,000 and below. So that is the edit that was made. So now Kim or the town administrator would have the ability to do approval of purchasing and contract signing for anything that's less than 25,000. But she's required, or the town administrator, excuse me, is required to go through the simple purchase process for anything that's from $5,001 to 25,000. And then anything that's less than 5,000 is exempt from the purchasing process and the administrator can sign. For anything that's $25,000 and one and above, you have to go through the formal purchase process and the town board is the one who is the decision maker on those. This also sets out provisions that says you can't break things up, so it's not like we can go 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 and approve, so. I went back and I watched the video from the last meeting and like 2 or 3 times to really pay attention to what everyone was saying, and I try to capture those in here. On these revisions.
Exactly what we have done.
Yeah. I made a couple edits underneath E1 little b, which is the professional services. And then this one, so revisions to this paragraph are basically just made for clarification purposes. The revisions do not add anything new. They pull together what's already in other sections to make this paragraph clearer and more user-friendly. For example, the Public Works project section that's further down in the policy already provides that professional services purchased in connection with Public Works projects are subject to the purchase process. They're not exempt. So I put language in here. It's just the last sentence, really. It's highlighted on this version. And so that's an addition. I'm pointing that out to y'all because it's different from what y'all looked at last month. The page 5 of 8 at the very top. The last sentence. I added in that the town administrator will prepare a written report that's submitted to the town board at its monthly meeting for review. That includes a list of all purchases made under the simple purchase process. This was another request for a revision for reporting to be made. So I added that in for y'all. And for the simple purchase process, it's not supposed to be a report that y'all are approving. It's just a report that gives you the information so you can see it and know it's occurring.
Mhm.
And that was it. Those were the only revisions that were made.
You guys. Very far on the last month's meeting. But we were.
Here we send it.
So I don't have anything else at this time. Y'all can discuss, y'all can ask me questions if you have questions about it. Or you can make a motion in a second, and then y'all can discuss the motion or vote.
Anybody had any discussion on it? I just think it's a good idea, other than that. I agree. Good idea from here forward. Just to protect the town.
Right.
As a whole.
It also streamlines the smaller things that, you trust Kim, trust
Right.
Sasha.
Right. Okay. Kim, did you have anything?
No, ma'am. I don't have anything. I think with the size of our town and where we're at as a community, I think it makes sense.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number or adopt resolution number 2026-06. Town of Kiowa, Colorado Board of Trustees. A resolution adopting the town of Kiowa's purchasing policy and granting limited contract signing authority to the town administrator.
Second.
All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. Motion carries. Okay, so now we go on, I'm sorry, I'm jumping from
Jumping through hoops.
approving resolution 2026-07, approving PSA with Kimlin Horn for engineering. I think Josh wanted to speak on that.
Kim, did you want to talk on this one too? So.
Professional services agreement,
Got it.
and that's the
That's this.
the handout that I gave you.
Yes, so we in the past have used core engineering as our civil engineers. There's a distinct difference between safe built and civil engineering. Safe built does everything regarding the structure. So they'll do the plan reviews, the permitting, the inspections, all of that for the structures that people are requesting permits to do projects on. Anything that's outside the structure, that is a sidewalk, a driveway, a right of way, anything like that, requires civil engineering review for those permits. And we've used Core Engineering in the past. When we ran into doing some floodplain stuff for this road project this year, and we were running through the floodplain permitting process, it made sense to go to, but CDOT was looking for the floodplain permit because they're working in a floodplain right now for the bridge. Kimley Horn just went through floodplain review for the 86 project. So hand in hand, they're both doing a lot of floodplain work. So it made sense to have Kimley Horn look at that. And while they're looking at that, up and down 86, they found issues with the floodplain work that was done over at the bank. So we did some revisions, some talks and back and forth. And there was other issues with Core Engineering in the past and some of their reviews as well. They have a very high turnover rate, which is a problem for me because our projects are getting lost in the shuffle of their high turnover. So Kimley Horn does civil engineering review, and they also do floodplain. I don't know if you guys know, under our code right now, I am listed as your floodplain administrator, and I don't know a single stinking thing about floodplain. I don't know why the code says that, why it's assigned me that, but I am. And when we run into these issues, Kimley Horn has a staff, a very vast staff. It's kind of like going with Josh's firm. When Josh handles a very specific group of legal stuff, you know, and if it's something we've approached him with that he can't handle, he has a staff or other lawyers in the firm that can handle it. And Kimley Horn's the same way. So I am proposing and wanting to go to Kimley Horn for all our civil engineering reviewing. At some point we may, if we run into more floodplain stuff, I would like their floodplain administrator who deals with other municipalities do the same thing. But that's what this agreement is switching over to Kimley Horn. We do have some right-of-way permitting stuff down the pike that's going to need some good eyes on it. And I think the people who are dealing with 86 right now, which is where some of that right-of-way work is going to end up being, are the right eyes to be looking at it. So that's what this proposal is for their work in civil engineering and conducting the town's civil engineering review and permitting process moving forward.
So Kimley Horn would basically function as the town's engineer. You know, as I act as town attorney, they would be,
Yes.
yeah, and how Safeville acts as the town's building department. But this agreement that is part of the resolution 2026-07, which the one that was put before you tonight, our firm works with lots of town engineering firms. You know, with other clients, we have form contracts that basically include within them most everything that's necessary from a municipal standpoint, because contracts are a little bit different for municipalities. We have to cover more topics than your regular contracts usually do. So my office a couple months ago put together form professional service agreements that we can use as town actual forms, so we can use them going forward as well. That's what this is based off of. So it's actually from our firm. What would happen is we've given this to Kimley Horn, so Kimley Horn is in the process of reviewing it. As long as they don't have any major substantial changes to it, your approval of resolution 2026-07 would allow me and Kim to make non-substantial, non-material edits to this form agreement. But we couldn't change anything like the not to exceed limit, which is listed on page 2. Wait, no, sorry, one. On page 4, underneath section 4 compensation. So the 100,000 is the not to exceed. So they would have different projects they would work on, they would bill at their hourly rates. And Kim, I believe you did confirm that the 100,000 is the budgeted amount for engineering services for the town.
Correct.
Yeah, so it's basically just saying that they can do work within inside the budget that Kim's then allowed to give them those projects. And they would do reviews for anyone who would come in and say, you know, I want to do a development and that development involves an impact to the town's right of way. They would be reviewing those plans from an engineering standpoint. And this also allows for the town to pass those fees directly through. So if I'm the developer and I'm coming to the town incurs costs underneath this agreement, but we can pass those fees directly through to actually Kinley Horn. So those provisions are set up in here as well. Your purchasing policy that y'all signed a little bit ago or approved includes a provision in it that says professional services agreement for licensed professional, high degree of knowledge needed don't have to go through a formal purchasing process. So we don't have to do RFPs. It's encouraged, and it's one thing we will definitely look at doing in the future, especially when you're looking at wanting to have cost analysis and see what else is happening out there. But right now, Kim is very comfortable with Kinley Horn. I've worked with them, not personally, but they've definitely been involved with 2 other clients and I've been around. They're well known, they're very established, they do a great job. I wouldn't have any concerns with them acting as town engineer. And you're allowed to approve it underneath your purchasing policy that y'all have adopted.
Okay. I think this is a really good idea, sorry. Because working with Kim and Horn in the past, they've been very professional. Helped us out tremendously, so.
Yeah, I'm impressed with what they're doing so far.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Okay. So at this point, somebody want to make a motion to approve resolution 2026-07.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. I'll say aye. Or, we got big. Yeah,
It's a few pages.
okay, so. Now we move on to C. Okay. Okay.
That's why I keep mine here, so I don't lose it.
Was where I'm gonna knock it off.
I know, but yeah, that's why it stays over there. No, but if I put it down here, I would have been like, where the heck is it?
Okay, we move on to resolution 2026-08, town of Tyler, Colorado. A resolution approving the amended and restated employment agreement for the town administrator.
Okay, I'll go ahead and speak to this. I included in your packets an agenda item report for this resolution, kind of giving you some oversight as to why I'm requesting it and the 3 areas of revision to the agreement. As stated in that, I am requesting the removal of the cell phone reimbursement because we have secured cell phones for the town administration and public works through an entity called FirstNet. So that is no longer needed to be in that agreement. So that needs to be removed. But over and above that, as we know, over the past year, I've worked really hard at bringing in outside funding for Kiowa, and we've seen great results from that on the water side and the town side. we've really secured more grant dollars than we've ever expected, and that's helped us move forward with a number of meaningful projects that otherwise wouldn't have been possible with local funds alone, because we know we don't have those local funds, in our budget to make any of those meaningful improvements to the point that we are now. And along the way, I've built some strong relationships with our state and regional partners. Those connections have opened even more doors for the town. And often what's unseen is the amount of ongoing work that goes on behind these grants. The reporting, the compliance, the administration that continues long after we're awarded those grant fundings. And honestly, that in itself is sometimes a full-time job, but it's taken on because it's what the town needs to move forward as a community. The updates to my agreement help reflect this and how this job has grown. It's ensured some stability around the election cycles, and it recognizes performance in a fair, results-based way, I feel. They're about aligning our operations with the progress we've already made and really trying to keep that momentum going, which is why I'm asking to make these revisions into my my contract today. What I'm looking for is, and we can go back to that, the report you have in the packet, is a 0.5% of any meaningful grant that is obtained through the work that I've done in the past toward the town improvements, toward anything that improves or benefits the town. And that's only once it gets under contract. So it's not a continuous funding stream. It's only hinging on whether or not that contract is brought to full contract. And then it still needs to come back to a public meeting and put before the board for final approval on payment of that. So it's not an automatic payment. It's something that keeps coming back to the board for consideration anytime we end up going under contract for one.
An incentive or a bonus.
Yes, pretty much. That's a good way to put it. The point at which we've got to our grants, it really is a full-time job. So by us obtaining them the way we have, and they become easy. And I probably knock on wood by saying that, but we've gotten very good at obtaining them because it's kind of the same information going into each one, but because of the relationships we've made, it's an easier ask sometimes for them. And we're getting a lot more collaboration, with people at levels that can help us secure it more easily, and getting very good working relationships with them where they can serve as a voice for us, sometimes higher up than we can get, supporting us in that manner. So it's a full-time job, maintaining those relationships, creating them, maintaining them, doing all the footwork to maintain them. I do take the mayor along with me quite a bit now because I really would like to get her face out there as the head elected official of Kiowa so that they know who she is. And I'm not the head elected official. I'm just the town administrator. They need to know the community faces that the funding and the supporting is going back for. So she has spent a lot of time with me at some of these meetings with a lot of these state officials that have been helping us on these. So that's my bit. Does anybody have any questions?
No, but everything is highlighted pretty well. But I would like to go ahead and take a moment, not that this is, I'd like to acknowledge that you've done an awesome job, Kim, and I've told you that several times. But I do want to go ahead and table this until next month to give the town's attorney time to look into the different items in your request to make sure of the legalities of it and advise the town and the town board as to how we should proceed with this. What's the best way to help maybe give end of year incentives or percentages, which is going to be the best way to help you achieve this. Everybody, do we have something to say, Josh?
Yeah, I was gonna say, Kim did send me the draft agreement. I took a very high level look at it. I don't do employment law. That's Kathy in our office, and Linda and Marcus have, handled a lot of these. So I don't have. I think that the, position that Kim has put forward is good and deserved. I don't have a legal response or advice for the board at this point in time, because a review of the agreement provisions that she's added in here, we didn't do them. Because as the board is our client, we try not to take actions unless y'all tell us to do something. So I couldn't tell you whether or not, from a legal standpoint, if the town attorney's office had any concerns whatsoever with the provisions are in here. That's not saying yes or no to them in any form. That's simply saying I haven't taken that type of work or step yet, because it could be very possible that the board simply said yes, approve. The board could say no, don't approve, and it would have, basically have wasted board time and money for our office to have spent any kind of time putting together a response. So I'm happy to do that, but it would have to be something the board directed me to do.
So at this time, I think I'd like to get your opinion on this and how we direct Josh and his office to proceed to look into what is being asked in this resolution.
Discussion, I think, yes.
Yeah, discussion. I mean, it seems to me, fair what she's asking.
Yeah.
And there's, like the cell phone reimbursement, she makes a good point, it's no longer needed, so it's just a responsible decision to change that. And the other things that she brought up, and I know she works hard at doing grant work. And so the incentive or bonus program is a darn good idea to me. I was ready to send it. But then again, you brought up the fact that, hey, let's make sure this is right and legal, seems to me at one point in time, a previous board had decided, you know what, we don't need to get paid, let's just all be volunteer. Well, come to find out that wasn't the right thing to do, so this board had to fix that.
Right.
Or the administrator fixed it. Right.
Put it to a vote.
Right.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not an employment lawyer either, I think it'd be a good idea to have it reviewed, just to make sure that we're all good. I'm in favor of it, if there's nothing wrong with it. That's how I think.
Okay. You're thinking.
I know I had a point and then I kind of lost it. Oh. Kim, you're always super good about looking into like what similar municipalities like us do. Are there like other places around that kind of have an incentive like this?
Well, I tell you what, a lot of the other municipalities have done. A lot of the other municipalities, and at least the administrators that I correspond with, they're very cautious about the grants that they bring on because they acknowledge what their work levels are. So they're very careful to apply for grants that they know that they can write in to the grant, their administration work of that grant. So they're getting paid through the grant to administer that grant through the life of that grant. None of the grants that I obtain for you allow that capability for me to write in my time as part of the reimbursement for managing and administrating that through the life of that grant. If we need that grant and that grant funds that particular project or that improvement, it doesn't keep me from applying for it and managing it because it's an improvement to the town that's most always at the point where Kiowa's at greatly needed. Before I got there, the administrator that you had prior to myself, I found the grants that she was successful in obtaining were ones that supplemented her pay. She was making $96,000 a year when she left your town because she was able to obtain grants that supplemented what you paid her. But that's the only grants that she obtained, and she was happy to manage those because they benefited her directly. And that's the difference between the other municipalities and what I'm doing for Kiowa. I don't have the capability of writing in any extra time that is involved, off time, personal time, because there is a lot of personal time involved in creating these relationships, maintaining these relationships. It's not just a Monday through Thursday thing. That's why I joined CML's executive board, so that it gives the town a leg up in knowing what's going on out there legislative wise. I attend the conferences and the workshops and anything that involves something that would be a leg up for Kiowa, give them, get Kiowa's name out there. You know, I have agreed to have CML's fall district meeting in Kiowa in September. So that's going to bring municipality leaders from all over this region into Kiowa. And it's going to give them an idea who Kiowa is, who the Kiowa elected officials are. It's doing things like that on personal time, evenings, weekends, to the benefit of Kiowa. And I'm not careful about only doing that because it benefits me. I do it because it benefits the town. It's not just your town, it's my town. I put a lot of my personal time, and so does my family, into that town. So that's the only reason why I chose to go this route. It's a nominal, very, very nominal amount compared to the money that's coming in there. And this was, of course, Josh and I haven't had any other conversations around this other than when I sent it to him. So there being a thought that it might be illegal or that needs to be looked at further for that purpose is a surprise to me. But as Josh says, he serves at leisure of the board, and that's why we didn't have any further conversations about it. He's not my attorney, he's your attorney. So
That's why I thought if we had it reviewed by other people out to help represent the town board itself and make sure that it benefits both of us.
You mean the town attorney's office?
The town attorney's office review it, yes.
I was like, who are we getting outside of the?
The town attorney's office and the people who are familiar with employment law.
And I did run this by Kathy Guckenberger, Linda Michelle, and Marcus McCaskin, the three partners at the firm who've been doing this combined. They might not want me to tell you how long they've been doing it combined, but it's a long time. They were not aware of a contract where this type of incentive program with grant funding had been involved. It doesn't mean it's not happening. It doesn't mean that it can't happen legally. They just haven't been aware of it. They are aware of definitely bonuses where such things as additional funds and the things that Kim does that are awesome for the town are factors that you consider on annual bonuses. They're just not directly tied to grant funding. So again, can the town do that? Should the town do that? Those are policy questions. Is it legally allowed every single time? I don't have an answer for y'all yet. We would have to look into that. And then the only other provision in here outside of those two is on 6F on the termination provision on whether or not you as the board could actually approve this kind of provision is another question that Kathy Guckenberger brought up to me, or something she said she would need to look at a little closer to.
you're talking about the election part of it, Josh?
Yeah. So
I can tell you with all confidence, there are other administrators that have had that written into their contracts.
Okay.
So
No, I don't know.
I'd be glad to do a listserv with CML to compile that data for them. That is surprised. That right there is very surprising to me, considering the number of administrators that I'm well aware of that have had that written into their contract. In fact, there was a previous Elizabeth administrator that had that written in there just down the road.
What did you say?
Yeah, 6F.
Oh, 6F, yeah.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying anything on whether these are or aren't, or whether or not it's a decision the board would want to approve or not approve. I don't have any kind of opinion, other than, you know, I think Kim does a great job, and I think that she does deserve to be compensated for the things she does.
My
Just saying I don't
opinion
have
is exactly that. We need to look into it and see what we can do to help Kim. Because I know, yeah, she spends hours
She does.
at night
Mhm.
working on.
I just wanna
things.
make sure that this is gonna protect everybody. you
Right,
know,
So I guess
our standpoint.
right.
what I'm hearing and kind of what I think is that we kind of all agreed that this is well deserved.
Right.
And so then it goes back to how much time and money do we want Josh's office to be putting into it?
Right.
Because I mean, it sounds like we all think that this is a good idea. So I think as a board, we should say, okay, Josh, do we go ahead or like, we like this, this is a good incentive, and I think. I mean, from what I read over, my personal opinion is I don't have an issue with it. So what do you guys think as far as Josh's office putting more time into it?
Well, it doesn't, sounds like they haven't ever done anything like this. Did I hear you correctly? Or they don't know?
The grant incentive part, the three partners said that they haven't seen anything that's tied specifically to grant approval. They have seen incentives, usually through a bonus structure that.
Can you
would
look into
improve-
that part of it, the bonus part of it,
Yes,
aside from the grant?
yes. I mean, we can look into it. I think really the only thing is the fact that it's tied specifically to grant approval. And
I think that might be because they never asked for it, because they didn't need to, because the other grants, like Kim was saying, were written in where they, you know, they got paid to do it.
yeah, so again,
And so if.
it's not me saying yes or no to anything.
Yeah.
It's me saying I just haven't.
I was
seen it before.
speculating.
Yeah.
I think he's waiting on our decision to say, yes, go forward, or we can approve this.
Or y'all move to approve it, so
Right. Yeah.
it's y'all's decision.
So would we like to ask Josh's office to look at the employment aspect of this contract? Addendum here.
I think what I'm hearing Bailey say especially is that if we all agree, how can we streamline it and not have to pay more money in legal fees and all of that?
Well, and also time, I think that we've got, we're all kind of in, you know, we all agree that this is something that we think is a good idea. And I know Josh's office is busy with a lot of other things that we want to get moving forward too.
Yeah. Are you talking about the employment part where you said, in section F, what was that? Section 6, subsection F, where provision agreement, to the contrary, the administrator shall be terminated without cause within 6 months of immediately preceding or following the regular municipal election. Is that what you were talking about?
That was what Josh pointed out.
Yeah.
But
Well,
as a whole, the whole ordinance.
Yeah, I like how it's put in there that, oh, where'd it go? The provision is intended to ensure continuity of administration and to prevent employment actions based on political transition. And that says it right there. I think it's a fantastic idea. But
In my opinion, I would say that we would approve it tonight, in my opinion.
all right, then I make a motion to approve it.
Second that.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes.
And yes, Kim, you do a fantastic job.
Yes.
We're very, very
I wanna
thankful.
say-
No, I totally agree.
I can tell you, she's here a lot of nights. After I leave at 4:30 or 5, she's here till 9, 10 o'clock.
Anybody that's ever raised a child knows that incentive is key. And I don't think that Kim is gonna run off of donuts like my family does.
No.
Well, I don't know. There's some days she runs off of donuts. And
No, I
caffeine,
lock myself in the office with the donuts.
she does. She walks over with donuts and a big thing of coffee. Coffee, 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 coffee.
So now we move on to ordinance 2026-03.
All right. So this is the ordinance that's going to amend chapter 18 of the Kiowa Municipal Code by adopting a new article 17 to adopt the adopt by reference the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code 2025 edition and the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code map 2025 edition and providing penalties for violations. So this was brought up at the last meeting. We at the last meeting tabled it because we were really hoping that the General Assembly was going to approve a bill that would extend the deadline that required municipalities to adopt this code. That bill was basically killed on April 7th, so it did not go forward. So that means our timelines to adopt are still in place. So we're gonna have to move forward with adopting this code that deals with the wildfire resiliency code and map. What is the wildfire resiliency code? It is a state mandated code that applies to all municipalities that are located in the wildfire urban interface area. Basically, where you start to meet urban area and more of a grasslands, trees, that kind of stuff. What is this supposed to help with? If you think back a few years to whenever there were about I can't remember 1,000 something homes that burned down from the grass fire in Superior.
That was like a housing development, right?
Yep, about twice the size of the town of Kiowa, and it just went right through. Because everything just kept catching on fire. That's happening more and more. So the state's trying to take actions to basically strongly encourage municipalities to take more of a participation in controlling the type of brush and the type of landscaping that's around certain housing and buildings. What's also included in here that's prospective is the materials that are being used to build structures and buildings. There's now like a level that says you need to meet like a certain type of material that's part of the permitting process. So it'd be something that Safe Built would be reviewing. It's not retrospective from what I've seen and read. It doesn't apply to current vegetation that you have around your house. But if you are to want to do an expansion of, I think it's like 500 feet, then you would be required to basically bring your site around your house into compliance. The biggest issues we have with this mandate is not the idea behind it. Who doesn't like that? It's the administration and enforcement side of it. And I know Kim feels passionate about it. I feel passionate about it. I think anyone that's in a smaller town feels passionate about it because it's basically the state requiring us to have more manpower and spend more time and money on enforcement that we don't necessarily have.
Got enough to administrate already, and you're gonna make me administrate more? Come on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There
We
are,
don't have the funding in our budget to hire staff to do it either.
yeah.
And then they're gonna have to be trained, and who's gonna train them? It just doesn't make sense.
And so there are a couple of options that the town would have after adopting this code. And one of them is it itself would move forward with its own enforcement levels, which is something that we can all discuss at a public hearing or our next meeting, which I'll tell you about here in a second. Another one is you can look at entering into a governmental agreement with the county or the fire department or another municipality where it's just the enforcement side. It's not the permitting side of it. It's just the person who's going around and sees that, a particular property doesn't meet the code requirements yet. And so that's more of a multi-jurisdictional that can put money into such an enforcement action. Another one is the state basically says for any type of municipalities that don't have the administrative abilities and don't have the enforcement, they can basically turn to the state and say, you do it. What that ends up doing though is it gives all of the town's own administrative authority to the state. So you no longer have the ability to have any kind of control over the enforcement. They end up having it. So these are things that we should definitely discuss. It comes into some legal questions and issues that we could address. But at this point in time tonight, because we're adopting this by reference, that requires a very specific notice procedure. We have to have a public hearing on it. We have to give 2 public notices that are published. One has to be 15 days before, one has to be 8 days before. And as I mentioned, it was on April 7th that we found out that the bill died. So we haven't had any time to actually publish. So tonight, what I'm going to recommend is that we have a motion to set this for public hearing at the next board meeting. And then that way we can get the actual public notice completed for it. And then we'll have a public hearing on it at that meeting, which will satisfy the requirements to actually adopt it.
So
So moved.
if it doesn't affect already, okay, so that you're just talking just the town of Kiowa, right? Just the town. So, and it doesn't affect the existing people and what they've got?
So my understanding is that if you, for example, have a gardenia bush in your front yard today that doesn't meet the distance requirements, then that's kind of grandfathered in. But if you were to
Plant
one, you couldn't plant a new one going forward. If it died, you couldn't transplant, yeah.
What can we do about the problems we have with people and the piles of stuff in their yards that have it now?
So
That would easily go up in flames.
that would fall underneath probably what you already have, code.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the wildfire resiliency code from a landscaping standpoint, so basically having to keep your yard mowed, having to keep stuff like brush and shrub not piled in your yard, those things usually fall underneath your codes already.
Like rubbish.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
and that would be code enforcement.
Yeah, so since we already have code enforcement, I don't know how this would supersede anything else. Except for the state, if they decide to take over. So we already have that in our code to keep everybody's properties.
but it doesn't work. She doesn't do anything.
And so, so these are great conversations for the public hearing.
Okay.
Yeah, right now it's just more of an introduction, so y'all can understand like what this is doing. Y'all can really start looking at it. What the public hearing is whenever you will really want to have that discussion about, well, what y'all are doing right now, actually.
So you said you need a motion to,
Table the, who's got it?
And my question, so it is mandatory, we have to choose one of these things. We can't opt out of it, is that correct?
So the state does not have an opt-out option. It is a mandated, or as the term goes, an unfunded mandate.
So what does that
If the
mean?
board did not adopt this code, there's nothing in the statute that would apply an immediate penalty, a fine to the town. What would likely end up happening is the town would be reported as not complying, and then grant funding that occurs from DOLA. A lot of times DOLA is restricted from giving grant funds to municipalities if they don't comply with certain mandated ordinances. So it could impact us from that standpoint. I don't think this is on the list yet. But the way things are going, I would not be surprised if this became one of the codes that basically go on what we call the mandate funding list.
The horse and
So-
carriage thing. I think it's pretty criminal. It almost sounds like.
Well,
Yeah.
and the unfunded part is the state's not gonna give us any money
Sounds like.
to take care of it. So we have to do it on our own, basically.
So I mean,
It happens a lot.
it does, but in this one, there is a provision that allows for the town to turn to the state and say, you do it. Like,
Yeah.
we've adopted the code because you told us to, but we don't have time, we don't have money, so you enforce it.
So
But that comes with
actually come out
strings.
and do that.
Yeah, that would be part of their process, but that comes with strings
Yeah.
on, they will enforce it to their level and degree that they'll want to enforce it. You know, whereas the town itself, you know, you adopt it and you have the ability to enforce your ordinances. But you might do it at a level that's more cognizant to what the needs are of your community, whereas the state won't give that same type of consideration. So there is a little bit of a quid pro quo on, you know, whether you really give up that authority.
Is that the main thing we should be thinking about between now and our next meeting is the pros and the cons of if we don't give it to the state and if we keep it under our
Yeah.
rule, that's
Yeah.
what we should really be.
And, you know, review the code that
Mhm.
the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code.
All right.
So another concern, like Kim said, we don't have the funding. Is there any way we can get the funding to cover the extra ordinance reviews, you know? Cause there's what, how many houses are here in town? 300 and something?
Yeah, ish.
So, yeah, so if we have that extra time, and I know Susie's probably not gonna be thrilled about having to follow that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Well, she can't, she's not trained in that area.
See, and that's another issue too, and so my concern is like you said, we don't have the funding to go forward with this. So if the state would be willing to help us fund something or someone extra without more strings attached, I think that would help our town. in the
There's always
future.
a string, yes.
Oh,
It comes to
Yeah.
the state.
Maybe there's a wildfire prevention grant.
I don't think they're gonna create grant programs for this if they're creating these knee-jerk reaction things and not thinking them through and understanding that small rural municipalities like Kiowa or Hugo or Akron, we don't have the staffing or the funding, you know, to take on something like this. And they're not creating a funding stream. In fact, they're doing the absolute opposite. They're taking the funding streams that have been created for small rural communities and they're using it to backfill their budget. So whatever money they do, you know, take 2 steps forward to give us, they take 10 steps backwards when they take it back away from us. And this is just another example of that. So here's my thought on it too. They create these and we're saying that we can't fund them. We can't provide the staffing to conduct, you know, the requirements underneath it. Who are they paying to make sure that we do it?
right?
You know?
And require quarterly, monthly reporting.
Yeah.
So see, and then there's another issue with the amount of staff we have here, we just don't. And that would require us either hiring somebody specific.
So this, again, is really what you want to reserve for the public hearing.
Right,
Yeah,
so we need to have.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And this,
Because you want to make sure you're putting all of this as part of that public hearing record, that you're having this.
Yeah.
I mean, it's robust and it's wonderful discussion. I want y'all to continue having it, but just, we got to do it at the right time and date.
so,
So really quick, this will reconvene on our next meeting.
Yes, we're not proving or denying anything right now. We're setting it for public hearing.
We all
That's
know
all.
what we want to discuss.
Can I just make a suggestion? My son is a firefighter and I was asking him about this land deal. And, cause that was last month and we had to hurry up and make a decision, but then it didn't work. He's very much into educating the public and not making rules, but educating and having some type of a community education class or whatever you want to call it.
I love that.
Education is key, he said, to, the community and letting them know, because a lot of people don't think about it until it's too late,
Yeah.
so if that sounds like something, maybe the fire department or someone, I mean, I'm sure they would do that, some type of education class.
How soon will we have the public hearing? Do we have to?
May,
It's a-
for the May meeting.
May 12th.
So we have to put a notice out 15 days prior, right?
Yes, so Josh is gonna get me the wording for that public notice and I will get it put in the newspaper.
So in the public hearing, can we have an educational spiel from somebody from our fire department or another fire department? Is there any regulations against that?
No,
Well, because it's a public hearing. If he's part of the public, he can get up and
So
say.
maybe we should have
Yeah.
it like at the fairgrounds or where the public could come.
Yeah, maybe we should see if that date's available. Should we, or do we set it after our?
You probably want to set a class like that as a separate
Yes.
thing, not part of the meeting. But he could come speak to the fact that you could do something like that.
For here.
yeah, I was gonna say that I think it's a wonderful idea if the town moves forward with adopting this code to set up education experiences for the public to explain, why it's good to have them being involved with making sure there's no shrubbery in their
I
yard.
mean, after we pass it or adopt it.
If you adopt it, if you end up adopting it, yeah. But having someone at that public hearing say, hey, it's also a great idea if you'll adopt it for us to have this education is good.
Oh.
But I wouldn't necessarily have the whole education
Yeah.
right then.
Like this is, and it also gives because if the public was here to hear this public hearing. And then they got a whole nother class on top of it.
Yeah.
I think it should be like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the class because I wanna get educated rather than like, oh, wow, I've been here for.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, I move to set the ordinance number 2026-03. An ordinance of the town of Kiowa, Colorado, amending chapter 18 of the Kiowa Municipal Code by the addition of a new Article 17 to adopt by reference the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code 2025 edition and the Colorado Wildfire Resiliency Code Map 2025 edition and providing penalties for violations for a public hearing at the Board of Trustees' next regular meeting on May 12th, 2026 at 7 p.m. here at Town Hall. And to direct staff to post notice of the public hearing pursuant to CRS 31-16-203.
How many seconds?
Okay,
So ordinance 2026-03, ordinance of town of Kiowa, Colorado, and chapter 18 was passed.
Because
Tabled.
first
Tabled. So
Yeah,
take that though.
the motion for the public hearing
motion for the public hearing.
has passed. Yeah,
Well, it's first and seconded. Did we vote on
No, you haven't voted yet.
it?
all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
glad you're here.
Those opposed say nay.
All right, let's have a public hearing.
Just wanted the wording for
And
this.
that's a requirement underneath state statute, which is what your code says you have to follow to do adoption by reference, so.
Now we're gonna move on. I'm missing my second page.
E.
Ordinance 2026-04 and ordinance repealing ordinance number 02, series 2024, and ordinance number 11, series 2024, and reinstating the town of Kiowa zoning ordinances and regulations that existed on April 8th, 2024.
Thank you, Mayor. This one we talked about, or I gave a report on at the last meeting. There's an agenda item report that was included. This just basically covers what we've already talked about before. And it does exactly what the title says. Do y'all have? I will say the plan right now is to get the corrected zoning code in front of planning commission at a special meeting on the 22nd next week. So that way we can get it to y'all on the next board meeting. So this is making a correction, but yet we're gonna hopefully get us moving forward again at the next one.
Get it all right.
Yes.
You can right the wrongs. Right.
Yeah, let's write those wrongs. So I move to adopt ordinance number 2026-04, an ordinance of the town of Kiowa, Colorado, declaring town of Kiowa ordinance number 02, series 2024, and ordinance number 11, series 2024 to be void. And to the extent necessary, repealing ordinance number 2, series 2024, and ordinance number 11, series 2024, and reinstating the town of Kiowa's zoning ordinances and regulations that, this reading's so well. I hate electronics.
You were close. You only had like 4 or 5 more words.
Good grief, Charlie Brown. Reinstating the town of Kiowa zoning ordinances and regulations that existed on April 8th, 2024, unless subsequently amended by a valid ordinance adopted by the Board of Trustees.
Nailed it. Second.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say nay. Motion carries. All right, we did all that. Staff reports. Okay, so I met with the senior citizens yesterday morning because we couldn't do it today. They're getting some help over here at the senior center. So they're gonna have somebody come in and replace the carpeting. They're going to be doing some painting. And they have to have some windows replaced in the building because they're leaking. And so if anybody knows anyone that can help them, you know, they've reached out and are talking to the dads of Elbert County, but there's so much that the dads of Elbert County can do. So if you know anybody else, a contractor that maybe is remodeling a house, replacing windows that might fit over there, that would be really great. Because I know sometimes some contractors will put them on line, you know, to resell the ones that they took out. If they're in good shape. So if you know anyone that can do that, it's great. So what else to do? I helped yesterday. They're gonna be putting in a little patio out back. And they're gonna hopefully do flagstone just so that all the seniors can walk on with their walkers. And a little picnic table and an umbrella of canopy. So they don't have to have them. And then Wi-Fi, they were trying to get Wi-Fi over there. We were trying to decide who is best because currently they have CenturyLink and CenturyLink. So, if anyone has any ideas and know of anyone that has like discounted senior citizen rates. Or,
You know, Xfinity, I have that at my house, and it's to be affordable.
and that's what I told them because I have it too. I have it at the shop and
It works well.
yeah. So if anybody else has any ideas, that'd be great. And then, I don't know if you noticed the quilts that they've been placing all over town, the
They're beautiful.
quilting group, yeah. Aren't they pretty? So,
And I think they were talking about. I think that was pretty much about it. We haven't talked about the chili supper or anything like that yet. On the sign, they were trying to get a hold of Debnom to help them redo their sign, but Deb's on vacation. And then they want to do the barn quote, like what was presented through the Main Streets Board. They want to do a barn quilt on this next to or on the side that they're building. I think that's really cute. Yeah.
Did they set a spoil the senior day this year yet?
No, haven't heard that yet.
I know they were waiting to see where everybody's events fell before they scheduled it.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I kind of wanted to touch on with was trying to get our packets out a little sooner and all information to Josh so that a week prior to our packets coming out, so that he can review things and give us our the feedback and get everything corrected. And then also getting our packets out on time again, because having them come in sometimes at the last minute is a little difficult for us to really review.
Yeah.
I like to have it over the weekend so that I can sit after I'm done cleaning and vacuuming and dusting. Can sit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, January got messed up because our mayor died 12 days into the year. February was her funeral, and then March got messed up because of me.
I get it, but if we can get back on track, that would be helpful.
We're working on it.
I know. So anybody, let's see, go to Board of Trustees, anybody else have anything they want to discuss, share what's going on in town?
Usually this time of year, I complain about how much trash there is after the snow melts, but we haven't had any snow. And Ted is doing a really good job about just keeping everything.
He's amazing.
Yeah, like the trash cans down at the park, obviously we're spending everybody's spending a lot more time at the parks now because it has been so nice. And they are everything's always clean and picked up, and so I give him a lot of kudos to that.
Hold on, the Easter egg hunt.
Oh, yes.
Oh, the Easter egg hunt was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
Sorry.
A lot of people.
It was really, it was awesome. Kim, you missed it. It was great.
I got great pictures.
Yeah, the only thing is I was trying to coordinate everybody to go in
stages.
It'll never happen.
But everyone just heard the word go.
It was a wave, like the little
Gosh.
started, and then the next group over were like, oh, they're running, so they went, and then the next group was like, oh, they're running, so they went.
Oh
and the
my
last group was
gosh.
like, they're running, we gotta go. Yeah, it was total,
But
it's never gonna
My
happen.
daughter started in her age group, and it was like, they got some, they use some, they use some.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And the food, oh my gosh, we used up almost all of the food, which was great.
Yeah, I think I have three boxes of hamburger and like 3 packages of hot dogs that are in our freezer.
Yeah,
for-
we did really good at ordering that. And then a lot of the young families, I was talking to a couple of them that their children were playing with my grandson. And they didn't realize that the photographs were free. And so I encouraged them, go get your picture taken.
I think that was Danielle, right?
Yeah, that's Danielle. Yeah, props to Danielle, and we really should send that out. A thank you to everybody that participated, like the American Legion, a couple of Lions Club people, Lisa Lassard, all of the
Royalty Girls
Royalty
came.
Girls,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, it was really.
The event planning committee does do thank you cards
Yes.
to them.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah, and everyone I spoke to was saying how just how cool it is that we do this, and And what a fun event. And, and then there are people I'd be asked, you have a good day? And everybody's like, yeah, it was a blast. So
Yeah.
nothing but positive feedback is what I got.
Right, and somebody made the comment, oh, it was Erica, she said, my husband didn't know he was coming here to pick up dog poo, and I'm like, oh, he's not picking up dog poo, it's the cactus.
Yeah.
So he was out there digging up cactus, we got another 55-gallon drum full of cactus, right, Jonathan?
Yep.
Cause you were doing it too.
Yep.
And we filled.
And Mendez filled 2 of them.
Yeah.
So,
Prior to that.
Ted talked about next year, he's gonna take like, and just drag the whole like park. He's just gonna drag it.
Well, the hope is we get our parks
Well, yeah,
grant, and that will be changed next year.
yeah.
Well, so to piggyback on that, thinking about like, wow, this could be a parking lot potentially.
Yeah.
I got locked in my house and I had to go to work. I'm like, whose car is this?
Yep.
No idea. They're just like, I'll park here, completely parked my entire driveway. I'm like,
You have that happen all the time, Bailey. It's either cars parking there or somebody plowing snow blocking you in.
yeah,
We're gonna park your car somewhere.
yeah, I'm gonna have to, luckily I work close, so
Right.
I'm on, but.
So how far are we coming on those grants to get from DOLA?
Are we on me? Because I have a whole report.
Oh, yeah,
No,
not yet, but
Josh has
sorry.
I don't have anything new to update.
Okay.
Because I already told y'all where we were with the zoning code correction.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are on you.
Now we're on you.
Okay. So we're going to start with grant updates. So on our stormwater sidewalk project grant, I did finally hear back from that pilot program that was the first come, first serve that we applied the second time to in September, and we were not chosen. Is only 6 months late in getting that out, but Congresswoman Boebert came through for us, and she chose us as one of her 20 communities to receive fiscal year 27 community project funding for the Colorado's 4th Judicial District. So this is great for Kiowa. We're now gonna, I asked for 1.6 million from her in that congressional funding. So as one of the 20 communities, we'll know by the end of this year when they go through their budgeting if they will grant the whole 1.6 or a portion of it. Either way, that's guaranteed funding that we will utilize to do the design and engineering of Kiowa Bennett Road and County Road 45 to do the same sidewalks and storm drainage and curb stops and pull that into 86. So we'll have meaningful improvements down both of the main arterials that come into Kiowa. So that'll at least get us into the design and engineering of that. And hopefully they'll be able to get that done by the time they're done dealing with the utilities and right-of-way stuff that they've come under on 86. So we did extend out those grants for another year, which will allow us the continued work in finishing up those utilities and right-of-way issues that have been found and come across. And hopefully in the meantime, we'll be able to secure the build grant that we applied for that will pull us into construction on that. So things are still moving along, little obstacles here and there. We just, work on them as they come up. Town Parks Project. I told you guys a couple months ago on that Fawn Valley parking lot and submitting a grant request to DOLA for $70,000 to fund the parking lot. DOLA came back and said that's such a nominal amount. We've decided we're just going to add that into the $600,000 we've already awarded you for the bathrooms. Because essentially over in Fawn Valley, that parking lot needs to be in order for the bathroom to go in, because we've chosen to put that bathroom at the end of that parking lot. So they have added that $70,000 onto the $600,000 that's already been awarded toward the permanent bathroom structures at both parks.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great news. So we will finalize that contract, adding that in there sometime in the next few weeks. That's that one that they held on to the $400,000 to. We already went under contract for $200,000, but they held back the $400,000 because of the lockdown we were on for a while. They're going to bring that back and give us the full 600,000 and add that 70,000 on, and then we'll be able to get started on those bathroom structures as soon as they do that. The GOCO grant, we will hear back sometime in June as to whether or not we were funded for our whole ask for improvements on both parks. We did receive an award of $252,000 from DOLA. That was the land planning capacity grant to hire an economic development consultant on an 18-month part-time contract. That position will project manage a comprehensive preliminary planning and analysis effort that's focused on expanding affordable and workforce housing opportunities in Kiowa. Their work will include detailed assessments of infrastructure capacity, land availability, zoning, transportation, utilities, floodplain constraints, and supported by GIS-based mapping. The goal with that, as we talked before, is to identify realistic infrastructure supported areas for new workforce housing, or even just expansion of our of housing that we have here in Kiowa at all. And they'll serve as kind of the front-facing person for those discussions moving forward. It looks like the school is going to get some help over there. So there might be some meaningful changes coming down the pike on that school property. And this person will be able to pull together the planning and analysis that we need to make really good decisions on what Kiowa could feasibly take on, and in what time frame and in what kind of capacity. So this will be a really good thing for Kiowa. It's going to put a lot of things in perspective for us, so we're not going into these development proposals blindly. We know what our capabilities are, and then what they need to bring to the table to be able to better take on what they're proposing. So that's a great opportunity there that DOLA is providing us with that. So we're once we get an RFP out there and we get somebody secured, then we can get right to work on that one. We will probably be going under contract with that next month. I'm still waiting for word from DOLA on that one. Kiowa Main Street. Kiowa Main Street Board was awarded the full $50,000 request from that Ready Grant submittal to fund their sub-grant program for facades and signage improvements down the Main Street area. We'll go under contract with that by the end of July, and they'll have 2 years to spend that grant money. Between now and when they go under contract, Main Street Board is focusing on finalizing what that grant program looks like. And so hopefully by the time they go under contract, they'll be able to have their first fall cycle applications submitted. And hopefully we get some Main Street businesses applying for it. I know we've got a couple Main Street businesses that are utilizing banners right now as their signage, permanent signage for their businesses. So I'm hoping that, this helps some of them that haven't had the funding in the past to make some of those improvements and meaningful changes to their businesses. And, and it helps, our downtown appearance and strengthens our local business investment down our Main Street, which is the purpose of our new Main Street Board. Main Street Board will once again host a drive-in movie night. This year, they're going to do 2 of them. The first will take place on Saturday, June 13th. They're going to be featuring How to Train Your Dragon. And the second one will be Saturday, August 22nd, and they'll be featuring Goonies.
August what?
August 22nd.
Love that movie.
So
These will be back over in the school's large parking lot again. And Main Street Board's still working out all the other details, so there's more to come on that. We have a local artist who stepped forward and has come to the Main Street Board with a mural project proposal. She's titled it The Birds of the Prairie. So what she's done is a series of 4 to 6 panels, mural panels, that are pretty large. They're 4 by 8s, I think is what she's proposing. Each one's depicting a bird commonly found out here on the Eastern Plains. And the Main Street Board did approve moving forward with at least one of them this year. And what she's going to do is create a community event out of that. So she's going to piggyback on our community events. She has a mural team that she's pulling in that's going to help her design that and then coordinate it. And then she'll bring that to one of our community events to get the community involved as a paint by number community project. Main Street Board's real excited about that. It's different. We always talk about historical aspect of some of these murals, but this one is, just takes a different twist. And they're really excited about getting started on this and the fact that the community's involved in it. We don't have any idea where the first installation will be. They're still trying to determine that. So again, there's more details to come on that one soon.
I think it's a great idea to get the community involved. Yeah, currently.
Oh yeah.
Future, they can bring
So
it and say, look, I helped paint that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
yeah. One thing was brought up at the last Main Street Board meeting, and I told them I was going to bring it to your board at this meeting this month. I had one of the board members make the assertion that it is hard for any of the local businesses to make any kind of meaningful relationship with the town when the town board is being told and the town board is listening to not having any kind of interaction with the community members. I was a little floored because I didn't see that coming. I didn't know where that was coming from. And it is their perception, and I guess it's a few people's perception still, that the board members of the town don't want to have any direct interaction with local business owners, and they've somewhat shunned them. So through some more conversation on that topic that night, the only thing I can come up with was it had something to do with last year's moratorium. So I just asked the direct question, and I said, is this still surrounding last year's moratorium and some of the perceptions that were stemmed from the discussions during that? And they said yes. And, so I said during this discussion, I said, you do understand that there were great precautions that were put in place at that time due to the legal implications of open meetings laws, and that 2 or 3 board members could not break off and hold a community meeting outside of a public meeting and outside of having other board members present, but at the same time they couldn't do it because it's violating open meetings law as well, having them, that many there in one place, meeting with the community outside the purview of the public. And they understood where that could be a problem, but it's a personal perception of theirs. And I said, anything that was said during that moratorium and those cautions taken for legal implications during that did not stem past the moratorium. And I don't have one board member, and correct me if I was wrong, but I told them in my assertion, I don't believe there's one board member that has the personal feeling right now that they can't talk to the public, and that they haven't talked to the public for any reason outside of what happened during the moratorium last year. So I'm just making you aware that there's still a handful of people that carry the assumption that you as board members don't want to have a personal relationship with the local business owners.
Especially since business owner.
It's just
3 of us right here. Yeah. I know how to find way to support local business. In fact, I was just lecturing the people that work for me about how, yeah, you can go to Taco Bell, probably costs more than Leach's. You don't know them. The food is terrible. Leach's is real. Go there. You can get pizza from Domino's, or you can go to Beano's, who we actually know that are our friends. And I'm always lecturing the people that work for me, just make a different choice. Please come here.
Yeah. And I cautioned them too during that conversation before the meeting was over, that I understand they were bringing that assertion to me, but it also is incumbent on them as Main Street board members to come back out into the community and say, their board serves as a liaison between the local business owners and the town board. And it's not to be perpetuating that perception, rather, to squelch it in some form or fashion. And really
Yeah, 'cause
kind of, I'm sorry.
No, I thought there was a pause there. I was just gonna say, yeah, because I don't hold that view. As a matter of fact, it would never even cross my mind. So if somebody's holding a grudge, they're holding on to it, and they don't need to. They just need to let it go, and then we just need to start over.
Yeah, and I asked them to invite them to your board meetings, um, and I also, reminded them that every one of you are working board members. You all have your own businesses or you work full-time jobs, and you don't have the full-time capability of a county commissioner to just go out and hold office hours or go to the businesses during the day and interact face to face. So I did ask them, to be more forthright in sharing that that's not the perception of the board, and I feel I can speak to that confidently, and that they should invite them to the board meetings and kind of see what you do, monthly at these monthly board meetings.
And I was gonna just throw in there real quick, if there is an event that's happening that 3 of the board members or more want to go to, you can throw up a notice on the town's
Yes.
website that basically says, board member, oh, perfect example. The event.
Easter egg hunt.
Well, I mean, even just the event that you were talking about, getting a table for the board members.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you can throw up a notice on the website that says that the board will be attending this event. And then that satisfies your OML at that point. But you have
Yeah.
to have that advance notice far enough to be able to do it,
Right.
Kim, are you
Right.
saying it's the Main Street board that was saying it against the town board? No.
It was one Main Street board member bringing that to the meeting as it's their perception that it's a fact, that it was said to them that other board members shared that at that time, and I didn't deny that. I didn't argue with that. I mean, I'm well aware what was told to you guys during that moratorium, and I'm well aware that you shared that out to the community members as you should have. You needed to share with them. I know what you're asking us to do, but legally we can't do that. We cannot hold a separate public meeting with just a few board members discussing a subject that is going to come back to the board for final decision as a board. That all needs to be kept in the public purview. And whether those that are requesting it disagreed with it or not is neither here nor there. It's what the law dictates and what can get you guys in trouble as a board. And that's where it stopped. And that's pretty much what I told them. That's exactly where it stopped. When that subject went away and it was resolved, there was never a continued expectation that the board didn't want anything to do with the local business owners. I mean, that wasn't even the case during that whole thing anyway. So I just, kind of drove home that I see that you're still kind of carrying this around a year later. Maybe we shouldn't carry it around like that. If it still is heavy on your heart or on your mind and you're carrying around some sort of perceived resentment toward something that happened a year ago that you still think is still standing, you need to come forward and say something. There's no way that anybody on this board or myself can speak to that without having knowledge of it.
Well,
So
I think I've told everybody, I had somebody just go off on me at the gas station one day. Oh, wait, I hate the town. They're bad. And oh my God, they embezzled millions of dollars and, and I'm like,
Don't have millions of dollars.
yeah.
I wonder where the millions are.
I'm thinking, I've never seen her at a meeting, and I've been on the council now for 3 years? And I have never seen her at a meeting, and I said, have you been to a meeting? No. And I said, well, number one, the town does not have millions of dollars to embezzle. And I said, number two, you need to come and be informed. Come watch, participate, watch it online. Go online and request a Zoom meeting and you can listen and watch. And also I said, I'm trying to be in the office a couple hours every Monday. Come sit down and talk. We can go through things. you know,
I
limited,
think
but.
rumors was, yeah, one person.
That's gonna be a small town forever.
Yeah, and see.
So-
Yeah, it is.
I think moral of the story, the best we can do is be in our community and show them what we're doing. And that's
Right.
about what we can do.
And just
Yeah.
invite them to come, you know, come participate, you know, because like I told you earlier, I asked Evan to come and participate. He thought our meetings were on Thursdays, and I said, no, I said they're on Tuesdays. He goes, oh, well,
We'll
maybe
start
I'll,
with that.
yeah, maybe I'll think about that,
Yeah,
so.
we'll start with that.
So, you know, and, you know, and so many people I try to encourage to come.
Oh, I tried to ask people to join the board,
Yeah,
you
I
know,
know,
that
yeah.
live in town. I didn't get any response there.
I know, it's okay, we want to participate after the fact and chew you all out for something you did not do, you know?
You know, that comes with the territory though.
I know, that's, I'm okay, I'm okay with thick skin, it's just that person surprised me. Really.
Yeah. Well, I told them that I would come back to you and share that with you. I don't, if that's lingering, clearly it's still lingering for some people. And I just told them, I said, you know, I'll reaffirm to the board that, you know, there's still some lingering thought there. And, I know that they will take that and they'll create open dialogue and engagement with our community members. And because nothing has changed with as far as you're concerned. And I have not witnessed that from any of you, and I've not even heard any of you voice that. So I do think it's just a small handful of people that are keeping that going, maybe. I'm not concerned over it, but sometimes a small handful can be cancerous to a large handful. And I just want to make you aware of that. Anyway, so we could beat that dead horse in the ground. That one's done. Public Works. I've asked Teddy, I know you all see the work they do every day. But there's a lot of stuff they do behind the scenes that I can't tell you how much it has mean to me that the staff has stepped up the way that they have, and they've done so much since I haven't been there. Um, and I drive through the town or I come to the office like last Saturday to do the financials for you guys, and I'm just in awe of what they do every day. It's a very small town and a very small staff, but um, they really just step up and they can do the work of 24 people. Um, and we're just really lucky to have them. Um, I will tell you there's a lot, and I think you guys know this, there's a lot of issues with our water and sewer right now, a lot. And Teddy in particular has stepped up and he is just right there in the trenches with our water guys. They're exceptional. Those consultants they've hired now that have taken over are an exceptional group of people. And they've taken Teddy and Mendez under their wing and they've trained them in a lot of areas. So they've kind of taken over some of the duties on a daily basis for the water authority. That has greatly needed it, to get it back up to par where it needs to be. Um, I don't know if you guys have seen at the east end of town, the security fence around the water tower has finally gone in. That's been many years coming. But in the course of that going in, they fixed a lot of the drainage issues down around the tower that have been happening for many, many years, causing a lot of erosion out into the field and the pasture. Just really clean that up a lot over there. They've made a lot of great improvements along our alleyways and the shoulders of our roadways with improving the drainage and standing water issues that we've had in a lot of places. And just get them corrected until I can get funding to get them done correctly. The town staff did come together after I left with my emergency, and they paid for a memorial tree that's now out in front of town hall to Mayor Terry Howard. And they also went back and refinished the bench that's been sitting out there under that tree for so long and furnished it with a plaque in her memory that'll go back underneath the tree here real soon. That's
Yeah,
all they're
we put
doing.
it out today.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. That was their idea and their funding that they put together to do that.
Dug
And
the hole.
it's amazing. So I just wanted to recognize them for a lot of the things that they do for the town. even when nobody's looking. So municipal court, we did put an RFP out for a new municipal court judge position, and that has closed. I did send scoring sheets out to a selection committee for evaluation of the 3 candidates that submitted proposals for that position. I'm still waiting on a few of them to get their evaluations back to me before we make a finalized recommendation. The next court date is not till June, so we will revisit this in May on the May agenda to bring a new municipal court judge on board before the June court docket if we have one. Last year, we have one every other month, and last year we only went 2 months with a court docket because usually Susie's really good about working with them and she gets them cleared up before they end up having to get hauled into court on them.
Or on that, can I say something really quick?
Sure.
I noticed that back behind the senior center, that vacant house back there, they've
Mhm.
been picking up all the vehicles.
They've been picking them up?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. I
Well, I
noticed
don't know
that.
if that has anything to do with Susie.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's good though. That's great because it's an eyesore. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and there's also a couple of fox dens over there.
No,
So anyway, I just thought I'd let you know that for some
cool.
reason, cleaning it up.
That's good. Well, that's all I got for my report right now.
Thank you. What else? Is that it?
Thank you.
Okay.
You're welcome.
I miss you, Kimmy.
Oh, yeah, I forgot we want to go through this, discussions and communications. I'm sorry, guys, my packet only goes to front page and then I have 9 others. And it goes to the March meeting. Oh. Anyway.
I do have something under discussion.
Okay, discussion and communications, potential
Yes.
town participation in assisting the Kiowa Fire Protection District with the cost and installation of a new community notification sign.
Yes. Kiowa Fire had expressed that they were in the process of purchasing and installing a new electrical community signboard where their board is at right now at the corner of County Road 45 and 86. They're wanting to get one that's more kind of in line with the one the school has across the roadway. And it would kind of serve as a community notification, giving warnings or real-time notifications on inclement weather coming up or in progress, highway closures, fire restrictions, any kind of emergency updates or public safety information. And I realized a couple weeks ago that that was a discussion that had started months ago, but I hadn't heard anything else about it. And Sasha hasn't gotten a permit request in the office for a sign. So I asked the chief where they were at with it, because that would be an amazing thing to have here in Kiowa and right there on 86, considering the amount of road closures we have in the winter, or wildfire information that's happening around Kiowa, any kind of that emergency public safety stuff. And he said they ran into a problem with the funding of it, that the amount that sign that they had proposed at the time for everything was $15,000. So I told him I would help him try to find grants to help fund that, which is becoming problemsome too, because there's not many public safety grants out there that would cover signage like that. I have reached out to Bennett because Bennett has an old sign, kind of like the one. It's like the school one. It's about that size that they got rid of when they put new signage up, and I'm hoping they still have it because the fire department's open to it's new to them and it's still very usable. There's nothing wrong with it other than they upgraded. So I'm looking into that, but I wanted to see if the board would be open to sharing in the cost of that with the fire department. And I'll tell you, I don't want to say it's a selfish ask, but my thought is if we share in the cost of it, there might be a possibility that the town can utilize the sign as well in some form or fashion when we're trying to notify the public of things, regarding the town. So that would be a cost share. Huh? I'm sorry, you cut out, huh?
Whereabouts are they thinking of putting that sign?
Do you know where the square sign is at right now at the corner?
You know, right by the park, right on the corner.
I think
of-
right now it says, what does it
Right.
say?
Of the highway and 45.
Yeah, it's right where you can see it. Right now it has something about volunteers.
Yeah,
Yep.
it says 100% professional and.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Volunteer.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Putting a new one there. I personally think it's a really good idea to help the town. And also it would be beneficial for CDOT as well.
yes.
To notify people that the highway is closed. If we ever get a blizzard. Somebody told me I need to take the plastic off my windows and. In order to
Hey,
incite. the
Kim,
blizzard.
what about like Core Electric or some of these companies, asking them for donations?
Well, a lot of us have reached out to Core this year, and ironically, Core's increased their rates considerably, but they've cut back on their donations this year on community stuff.
There was like a change in staff, wasn't there?
There was a change in staff, yeah, that makes those decisions. So I don't know how much that plays a part in that, but everybody's feeling that as far as Core is concerned. I know that Bennett had reached out to me when they were trying to get rid of that sign before, and they were wanting $5,000 for it. Now, I don't know what the setup or the installation and all that costs. I don't have the breakdown of what that $15,000 is. I did confirm with the financial officer for the fire district that it is $15,000 for the sign, the installation, and all of that. But at the time, Bennett was offering that to the town, but there was nowhere that I could put a sign like that in a CDOT right away that I would get approval and a permit to do that. But the fire department has the property there, and the reasoning behind it that would give more reason for CDOT to approve a permit for that. And my other part of that was we can waive their permit and review fees through the town. I know they're going to pay some to the state because CDOT will have to review it as well. But at least through the town, we can waive those fees for them. That would help with some of that too. So I wanted to check into Bennett a little bit more and see if they even still had that one. For 5,000, that might help with the cost some, and then figure out how to bring some of that cost to them down that way. But I've got to confirm whether they still have it or not, because it's been months since they asked me if we wanted it.
Yeah, go ahead. Look, I think it's a good idea to check into that.
Aye.
And then we can maybe just revisit it in May if we get a few more answers.
Yeah, I can, work some more discussions, and
I'm sure somebody will give us some donations for that somewhere. We just have to figure out who.
yeah, I get concerned about having community fundraising stuff when we have so much of it now, I don't.
But I think for the fire department, they'd be willing to. Like Sun Valley Electric and,
Oh, that's a thought. Yeah. In-kind electrical work to get it installed. So yeah, I think I have some more discussions, but I just wanted to let you know that this is a problem for them. And it's not a small thing. It's not just like the church wanting to put in a sign giving notice of, all of the stuff that they offer at the church. This is a community. It's of community importance. It gives critical information at critical times for our community and people passing through our community that wouldn't otherwise have an easier way to be broadcast other than social media. Not everybody's on social media. We have an elderly community, here in Kiowa that none of them even turn on a computer. So they wouldn't be able to get that on our website and social media or otherwise. So, something like this, I think is really beneficial to a small rural community like ours.
I agree.
Yeah, I like that. I'm curious to see what next month. if we
Yeah.
get Further on that, so, yeah.
Yeah, we could put it back over and discuss it more next month after I learn more from them and have more conversations.
Okay, anything else?
I have nothing else.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Okay, motion to adjourn at 9:13 PM.
My husband sent me a picture of ice cream and he's like, when the kids go to bed, what do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.